Today, we're going to go over 3 different front hand attacks that you can add to your sparring techniques. Plus, I'm going to go over 1 bonus attack as well. Let's get to it. The first attack is going to be a front hand hook punch. In a front hand hook punch, I'm going to have my arm up to the side, shoulder is down, elbow is out and slightly bent, and my fist is going to be with my thumb down. When I strike, I'm going to swing my arm around, swing my torso around, and then bring my elbow in when I make impact. And I'm impacting usually with that first knuckle. One advantage with this hook punch is that it can go around somebody's guard, especially if they're not wearing boxing gloves. With the big boxing gloves, I have these huge pillows that can cover my head. But if you have small gloves or just your bare hands, it slips in. See, when my hand is here and I'm trying to block, this comes around and it gets to the target. If I want to hit to the head, I just keep my body a little more upright. If I want to hit to the body, I just sink down, I sink my stance down, and I can slide right in. I can hit anywhere in the head, the side of the head, the back of the neck. You can't do that in sparring. And the ribs, or right in the center of the solar plexus. Very, very flexible punch, and it's actually fairly hard to block.
Looking at the body connection drill, starting from a forward-facing cat, stepping into a bow and arrow stance, and whipping the arm around, and focusing on striking with the knuckle of the index finger. Again, forward-facing cat, stepping heel to toe, rotating into a bow and arrow stance. You'll notice that I'm also concentrating on whipping the arm inward when I perform my strike. And my backhand stays in a guard when I hit. In the video, I'm putting that hand right by my shoulder, but when I fight, I can put it right in front of my face or on the side of my face, just so I can protect it while I strike.
The next technique is going to be a backfist. Now, a backfist is a very, very classical traditional martial art movement, and you see it a lot in point sparring. You don't see this too much in modern day full contact fighting, but that might be because of how people are using it. In a front hand backfist, I have to make sure that I'm hitting to the side of my body, not in front of my body, because this doesn't have any power, but the side of my body does. In a backfist, my elbow has to come out to the side and extend past my shoulder, and then when my hand extends, it has to come, again, past my shoulder. When I'm striking, I can hit with the back knuckles. And you can hit with any of the back knuckles. I can also hit with the back of the arm and the forearm, or I could even hit with a hammer fist, which is actually really powerful, and I don't see enough people doing this. Also, when I'm hitting, I'm turning towards that punch. I'm turning towards that punch, and I can come straight across, or I can come slightly down, or I can even go slightly up. So again, looking at this technique, I'm going to turn my body outward to the side, make sure that my elbow comes past my shoulder, and then the fist follows that. After I hit, I just recoil the hand. This punch is really great to smash someone's guard. If someone's guard is up, and I just slam this, and I swing this back fist out, I can bang their guard and distract them long enough to get in a body shot or another technique. This is also really good after I do a body shot, and they drop their hands, and I come up on top to strike them in the head.
For the drill, I'm starting in a sideward-facing cat stance and stepping forward into a bow and arrow stance. I'm winding my arm up, the elbows pointing outward, and then it swings outward before I strike with a back fist. Remember that you need to swing your elbow past your shoulder when you strike. When I practice a whipping back fist, I'm putting emphasis on the recoil of the fist. See, here I'm just leaving it out so I can show you the technique, but when I actually strike, especially with a back fist, I want to recoil the hand because it emphasizes the whipping power.
This next technique is a front hand uppercut. With a front hand uppercut, you want to make sure that your elbow is down, your thumb is facing outward, and I'm going to strike generally with these last 3 knuckles. When you do this technique, it does require a slight loading of your body, so you do have to drop your weight a little bit before you explode upward. And when I strike, I'm not going to the front of my body, I'm going to the side of my body, because with the side of my body, I can generate a lot of force from my back muscles to produce power. And remember, when you hit with this uppercut, you want to not just contact, you want to go contact and go through the target and then come back. This uppercut is generally targeted at the face or the chin, and especially when their hands are really, really tight. You have this little hole right underneath, and that can come straight up. But this technique can slip in anywhere, even if somebody has a long bridge, that the uppercut can come right underneath.
So I'm going to start in a forward-facing cat stance. I'm going to step forward into basically what is a side horse stance. It's called a half horse. So you can see I'm dipping my body slightly down and then rising my body slightly upward for the strike. Unlike the swinging uppercut that I go through in a different video, this type of uppercut uses a different kind of force. Here I'm using a whipping motion to generate power. You just have to remember to tighten your fist at the last moment of the strike and to drive your strike through the target, not just at the target.
Bonus technique, sort of. This is called a drill punch. This drill punch looks a lot like an uppercut, and you set it up in a lot of similar ways. I'm going to load it up very similarly to an uppercut. I'm going to sink my body down and drop my elbow. But when I strike, as opposed to rising upward, I'm actually going to go outward. So I'm not going up, I'm going out. And I generally hit with the last 3 knuckles. And you can see the difference. But if I just freeze frame that shot, it's going to almost look like I'm doing an uppercut. The uppercut often hits to the head, but I can hit to the body with it as well with a front hand. There's a different kind of uppercut I like to use for the body, just for power generation. But with a drill punch, because of the amount of torque I can get on the strike, you can deliver an effective shot to the gut as well. So both the uppercut and this drill punch are a little bit closer range. If I'm really, really far away, it's going to be kind of hard to hit. I have to get in or use some other technique to get close before I get in.
The stance work for the drilling punch looks very similar to the whipping uppercut. I'm stepping from a forward-facing cat into this frontward-facing side bow and arrow stance, but the emphasis is more on forward momentum than it is on upward momentum. And likewise, there's more emphasis on driving the fist forward as opposed to up. In Southern-style Shaolin Kung Fu, there's a very big focus on these front hand striking techniques, which is why I wanted to take some time to make several videos that feature these moves.
I hope you enjoyed these techniques. These are really, really effective sparring moves, and they work particularly well when you combine them with the 3 jabbing techniques that I did on a previous video, so check that out if you get a chance. If you have any questions about the video or the techniques, then please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next time.